Hey guys, Imagine What You Know Tomorrow here. What I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about today is lightweight rifle builds and what's lightweight, what's not, and what you can do to try and compensate for these factors. So to start off, what we'll talk about is my wife's AK. My wife is Casondra Starseeds on YouTube. I don't know if you guys watch Casondra Starseeds on YouTube. If you don't, you should. And if you do, heck yeah. Good choice. So, basically, this is Casondra's AK. I have it set up with everything it needs and nothing it doesn't. So it needs a flashlight so she can identify her target. It needs to be light enough for her to use this weapon efficiently in a crisis situation. Now, Casondra Starseeds she's not Rambo, so she needs something light. So I've got an M4 buttstock on it instead of the wood furniture, poly 4N, poly grips, and she can mount an optic on this if she wants, but it's got ghost ring sights on it, so she's all set. She's actually really proficient with this rifle at surprising distances, just for the AK-47, not even for a female shooter. Like, Casondra Starseeds is definitely, like, a good shot, so don't screw with her. A heavier rifle system is going to be a gas piston AR-15. This thing is a monster. Probably weighs in at about, I don't know, 9 pounds. I've done everything I can to reduce weight on this. I've removed sections of rail. This gas piston system and this big aluminum gas block right at the end, it causes a lot of like fore end weight or front end weight, however you want to think about it. And basically, like, it's reliable. It's the most reliable AR-15 type system there is. And you can feed this thing crummy ammo and you can feed it great ammo, and as long as you have the gas key tuned right, it's going to function like a champion. Little sewing machine. But it's heavy, and if you can't deal with the weight of your rifle, you need to be spending more time with your rifle. If you think your rifle is really too heavy for you, you need to either find another gun or spend more time at the range working with your gun. If you're not strong enough, you will be. Consider every moment that you're holding your rifle as another moment closer to being able to carry it all the time and being used to this weapon system. Now, what you can do is what I've done here. Because my wife can't handle this AR-15, this heavy one, what I've done is I've created a lightweight version. What this is a polymer lower receiver. I actually finished this one myself. This was an 80% lower, and alright, so I had the bolt open so that everybody could see. I wasn't risking my life. So hang on, this could be loud. Alright, so now with the bolt closed, I can pop this open and show you. But this whole trigger pocket, I had to mill all that out with a Dremel tool and clear that whole space. And this is my second one. The first one I got was defeated by my gas piston upper over there. A monster. It actually was defeated right in here. It split. I think what ended up happening was the bolt came back and actually contacted the lower and split it. But basically without an aluminum lower, it's only got aluminum right inside here where the threading is. Without that aluminum lower, it takes a lot of weight off. By using a by using a gas impingement system, that's the gas tube and the gas block, and using the power of the gas instead of the power of the piston to pull the bolt back. By utilizing that system, you actually cut down on weight quite a bit. This is a much lighter carbine rifle. They've both got the same barrel length. This one has a lighter weight aluminum rail system than, of course, the Ruger does. The Ruger has a Troy rail system, and you know, Troy makes a really solid product. but it's a rock. And, you know, like I said, it's solid, but it's a rock. And this other rifle, I can hold it up with one hand, no problem. You know, like, this is probably a 5.5, 6 pound gun tops. And that's giving a little exaggeration. To keep the weight down, rather than using a tritium optic like the MiPro Lite, which adds a fair bit of weight, and you've got to keep in mind that weight towards the front of your gun is going to be, think of it as multiplied, because the farther out you are, the better the leverage is for whatever the weight is, just like with a seesaw. Okay, so if you sit on the farthest end of the seesaw and you have all your strength down here, you know, pushing down on the end of the gun is going to have a lot more, let's say, weight behind it than if your weight was up here or up here. You know what I mean? Because all the leverage is down there. So with this weapon, I was able to keep the optic still on the front piece of the upper before we even get onto the rail over the barrel, which has its pros and cons. Most people say you want your optic as far down on the rail system as possible so that you get the least amount of optic in your line of sight. I think, yeah, that probably is true, but in the interest of this lightweight build, I've mounted it farther forward, and that seems to work just fine. You shouldn't move your optic around once it's zeroed, but as long as you make little marks on your receiver, or know exactly where it is it goes, like this one fits all the way to the last piece. With this rifle, I've got it marked, little scratches in the paint. I mean, these are guns, guys. These aren't toys. Like, feel free to mark them, paint them, do whatever you got to do. If you aren't numbering your mags, might be something you want to consider, because you want to know which ones are your good mags and which ones are your, you know, failure to feed or whatever mags. You know, mags you want to just keep at the bottom of your closet, you know, a bucket of water or something. So, basically, that's what I've got for you. Rails where you absolutely, or rail covers where you absolutely need them. You should only have, you know, stuff where you're actually going to use it. And if you aren't sure what you're actually going to use and what you're not, if you have a laser mounted and you're not doing work in a gas mask, you're not going to use it. If you've got a flashlight mounted, you'll probably use that, you know, but keep in mind that the heavier your flashlight and the farther forward you put it, you know, you're adding all that weight to your weapon. And it is smart to keep your light as far forward as possible, like the light on this rifle or the light on this rifle. The reason for that is because there's oversplash, basically. So light's coming off at two angles, up here, and down here. And what it's doing is showing the end of your barrel, and it's lighting up the end of your gun. So when you're in a situation where you're being fired upon or whatever, activating that light for more than an instant is giving away your position. And if they can see the end of the barrel, they can tell where you are. So be careful. And build your wife a lightweight gun so that when you get home, she's there with dinner, hopefully. Have a good day, guys.